Hi everyone, this is Steph with Stampin' and Scrappin' with Steph, and this is the project I'm going to share with you today on how to make. It is called the Cutest Halloween Fun Fold. So today's project, I'm using some brand new product that will be available in our new mini catalog. It's from the Cute Halloween Suite, which you can find on page 50 and 51 in the catalog. And it's a really fun, colorful suite. I wish I could show you the pages, but I cannot. Not yet, not until it's live, but the bundle has the stamp set Cutest Halloween and a matching punch. And then if you get the suite, it has a tombstone treat boxes, some star adhesive sequins, some black and white gingham ribbon, and then 6x6 paper, which is really adorable. So in this card, I used, excuse me, the Haunted House Designer Series paper, and I've already had it cut down. So on the back side is these little ghosts, bats, and then like the little skulls. But I'll quickly show you some of the other paper. Now I've already used some out of the pack. So you've got these ghosts. On the back side says is in writing, and it's all different boos. So I'm just gonna kind of give you a little idea. So you get a lot of the same pattern. Which is nice because we're at 6x6. You don't have the big, 12x12 to cut down. So it's a good size pack. So there's all different patterns of paper, and you can see the Haunted House one. And I call this a fun fold card because it has a little bit of a different fold to it. Kind of has that a little bit of an accordion step there. But the front is a little bit smaller than we do for a normal base. And then if you position your whisper white or basic white the same way, it's kind of hidden when the card closes. Oh, when you open it, there's a little surprise. All right, so set that over there. And for today's card, you will need, so I'm using colors that coordinate with the paper pack. This is Highland Heather, and that measures 5 1/2 by 8 1/2. Then we have a piece of Whisper White, or excuse me, I'm so used to saying Whisper White Basic White. That's 3 3/4 by 5. And then Pumpkin Pie, that is also 3 3/4 by 5. And I've embossed this using the Hammered Metal 3D embossing folder. Old Olive, that is 2 1/2 by 4 1/2. A piece of Basic Black, that is 4 by 5 1/4. A piece of the Designer Series paper, that's 2 by 4. Another strip of Basic White, and that is 3/4 of an inch by 4 inches long. And then you're also going to need some scrap paper, a little piece of white to punch out your little ghost here. So to create the fun fold, we need to add some score lines to the front of our card. And I'm just going to use my Stampin' Trimmer here. So I'm going to score at 2 1/8 here, and then 4 1/4. And that is it. Now, if I was doing multiple cards, I would keep my card stock the full 8 1/2 by 11. I would add my score lines, and then I would turn and cut the cardstock in half at 5.5. And that way you're only scoring once rather than 2 times because you have 2 sheets of paper. Hopefully that makes sense. So now we're going to fold like you would a regular card. And then we're going to take that score line here and we're going to fold it backwards, just like that. And that creates that little accordion bend. All right. The next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to take my pumpkin pie and I'm going to add adhesive just in this first section here. I don't want to have any adhesive on this section of the card because it's going to be floating over this edge and I don't want it to stick down. So now I'm just going to line up. And here's my cardstock there. All right, so I'm going to do my layers. I'm going to add my basic black. I apologize for any background noise. It's summer vacation, kids are home. I have to record when I have time. Otherwise, if I'm waiting for the house to be empty, that will never happen. All right, I'm going to add my designer series paper to the front here. So this is a really simple card to make. And because I am putting this on an embossed piece of cardstock, I just add a little extra adhesive to the back that I probably would skip if this was not embossed. So now I'm going to set this over to the right. And so now we have this look so far. And we're going to do our stamping. This punch is really cute. Obviously the images are upside down, but this punch will punch out the little kitty cat heads and the ghost, as well as the pumpkin. It does not punch out the skull head, but that could be simple enough to just fussy cut out. Now you could certainly just punch out a little ghost and just have a little white piece of paper, but I'm actually going to stamp because I think he stands out just a little bit more with the background having that outline there. So the first thing I'm going to do is just bring some Whisper White over. Again, Whisper White, basic white. It'll take me a little bit to train myself to stop saying that. All right, so I'm just going to use the Memento black, and I'm just going to stamp. Now, because this is automatically going to try to punch out these 2 other images, I'm going to, when I stamped close to the last time I punched out, so there's less waste of paper. You could also just do strips and kind of, stamp along and make sure you give yourself space. You could also do a template where you could punch out all 3 at the same time, but I only want the ghost today. So before I do that, I'm going to take my Whisper White for the inside of my card. And I'm just going to stamp him in this lower corner. I'm going to add his face and arms. It's kind of cute. Just like that. Open my punch. And it's easier to punch out an image like this upside down, because then you can see where your punch is actually lining up. And then you can see just there's not a lot of waste by doing it that way. And here's our little ghost. The next thing I'm going to do is take the 3/4 inch by 4 piece of white. I'm going to stamp the greeting also using Memento. Oh, I got ink on my fingers there. What else is new? Okay, so I'm going to stamp closer to the right edge. And this says, "Have a fabulous Halloween." Now I'm going to take the banner pick-a-punch or pick a banner punch, whichever you prefer calling it. And I'm going to use the banner edge and cut that out. All right, and now the last things that we need to do is just to add the white to our paper, to our cardstock, I mean. And I am going to add dimensionals to the back of my greeting, as well as my little ghost here. I'm going to line up this the right side edge to the edge of my pumpkin pie paper, and then add my little ghost kind of floating here on this side. All right, and then the next thing I want to do is add a bow. So I'm going to use the new gingham ribbon that comes with the suite and just tie a quick bow. And I'm going to use glue dots to put the bow down. And I'm just going to add the bow down here. And before I do the inside of the card, I'm going to add the cute star adhesive back sequins that also comes with this suite. For the original card, I added a couple, so I'm just going to stick with that. So I did one of the pumpkin pie. This is like an iridescent Highland Heather, or the other color in this is Flirty Flamingo. And then, whoop, that one just kind of got away from me. And I put a basic black one right there. And now to do the inside. So I'm just going to add some quick adhesive here. And the easiest way that I found to make sure that it's lined up is open your card with the adhesive side facing up. I'm going to line up my edges here onto the pumpkin pie. And then you just fold over this part of your card, give it a quick rub. And so now when the card is closed, you don't see any of the white edge. And then when you open it, what do you think? Super cute, right? So thank you so much for stopping by. I look forward to seeing you next time. Happy stamping.